This young couple left their lucrative jobs behind to travel full-time. They converted a van to become their home on the road. Why did they decide to do this? How has van life been for them? But before they answer these questions, I would like to remind everyone to please subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon so you don't miss any of our inspiring videos. Hello everyone, this is Margie Bruce, here at Global Inspiration, where you need to be seen, you need to be heard, and be an inspiration to the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guests this week, the Wandering Wings, Brandon and Kristine Wing. Hello, Brandon and Kristine.
Hi, Margie. We are so excited to be here. Like you said, we are the Wandering Wings on all of our social media, but we currently live in our van, and we are so excited to just talk to you some more about it.
So you guys, you both are from Wisconsin. Can you tell us more from where in Wisconsin and tell us a little bit about your families?
Sure. So I was born and raised in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, which is kind of in the central part of that. But my mom is actually originally from the Philippines. So she came here 30 years ago and made her home base in Wisconsin. And then she met my dad. And then, of course, they had me and my brother. And I lived in Oshkosh for most of my life. And then after college, I moved to Milwaukee to live with Brandon.
I am from Milwaukee, born and raised in the suburbs outside of Milwaukee. I have an older brother, younger sister. Not a fancy story, but yeah, just born and raised outside Milwaukee.
Great. So I know you've only been on the road for a couple of months, but how is van life so far?
So far, it's been a lot of fun. We've been able to see a bunch of new places, things we never thought we'd see in our lifetime, especially coming from Wisconsin. It's definitely been a learning process, trying to find a place to sleep every night. You never have to necessarily think about that, but as we've started our van life journey, yeah, that's definitely been something that we've had to adjust to. But other than that, it's been a ton of fun. We're loving it so far. Wouldn't change it.
And you both had lucrative jobs. Kristine, you were a CPA, you are a CPA, and you were a treasurer and assistant controller at a bank. Brandon, you were a recruiter. My question is, and I'm probably not the only one who's asked this, why would you give up your careers for van life? What brought this on, and what became your inspiration?
Yeah, so we decided to kind of quit our jobs and do this because we felt it was kind of the perfect time in our lives to do this. We don't have kids. We didn't have a house, so we didn't have to deal with that. And, we're young and healthy. So we wanted to really be able to explore and travel while we're able to do so, because unfortunately with life, you don't know exactly what's going to happen. And for us, waiting until retirement to do everything that we've always wanted to do just didn't seem like a viable option, just because you don't know what kind of health you're going to be in. And again, with life throws a lot of curveballs your way. So we felt that we were in a position to be able to do this, and not saying that you can't do this lifestyle if you have kids or anything like that. I think that everybody can find a way to make it doable for them, but for us it was the perfect time in our lives to do so.
So who first came up with this idea and how was it received by the other? So were you guys in agreement right away, or did it take some convincing by one of the other?
So Kristine was definitely the one who discovered this. We had always talked about traveling and just going out and experiencing the world, outside of our little bubble. And she stumbled upon a video on YouTube and was like, oh, I could see us doing this. And I was like, what? I was like, no way. I was a little skeptical at first, but I eventually kind of came around to the idea. Didn't take her too much convincing to get me on board. But yeah, at first I was a little skeptical because I was like, live in a van? Like what? You always hear stories about people who live in vans, and sometimes they're crazy, but definitely not crazy. We definitely have loved every part of van life. And I'm super happy and thankful that she stumbled upon that video, because who knows where we would have been if she hadn't watched that video.
Wow. So, okay, so you decided to do this. Um, so what did your friends and family say, especially your parents, when you told them, yeah, we're doing this?
Yeah. Yeah, so it was a tough conversation to have, especially with family. But at first they were, I think friends and family, they were all shocked. They didn't really expect that to come from us. But our friends were, they were more accepting or more excited, I would say, when we told them after they got over the initial shock. With family, they were more concerned, worried, I would put it. They were just concerned about, how are you going to make money? Are you going to be safe? That sort of thing. So that was kind of their main concern, but they did come around to the idea after, they saw how we were building it, what we were going to be living in, and we kind of explained to them more of what the day-to-day is going to look like. And we told them, we plan on having jobs and that sort of thing. So I think that really put their minds at ease. So that helped with that.
Yeah, it was definitely just, I think it was definitely a shock for a lot of people. Because you never expect to hear those words come out of anyone's mouth. Like, oh, we bought a van, we're going to convert it and live in this tiny little house.
Mhm.
Like, I think that just wasn't anything that anyone ever fathomed, especially in my family. But my sister, when we told my sister, she hugged us both, and she was like, of all the people I know, you two are definitely the ones who would be like brave enough, and I could see doing this. So I guess it makes sense for us.
Yeah.
So you bought the van and you converted it yourselves. So I've seen videos of how you guys did it, and it's pretty impressive engineering right there, though neither one of you is an engineer. So how long did it take you to complete this project from concept to completion? And where did you learn all that stuff?
Yeah, so we bought the van in November 2020, but we didn't really start working on it because the winters in Wisconsin are terrible, as you know.
Yes.
Kind of had it sitting in the driveway for the winter months, and then we started working on it in March of 2021 once it started to warm up, and then we finished it in November 2021. So that's about 8 months, I think. And we were working on it every day or every weekend, I would say, both days on the weekend, and then after work every day we'd be, learning about how to do stuff, and we learned how to do everything on YouTube and blogs, and those were very, very helpful. Like you said, we didn't have any experience, and I'm an accountant and Brennan's a recruiter, so it's kind of our first time picking up power tools for the most part.
I know how to pick up a phone.
Yeah. So it was a challenge, but it was fun. I think that we both really enjoy working with our hands, so it was really nice to be able to do that and see what we made. So
That's awesome. So, like I've said, you guys have been living on the road for only a couple of months, and this is truly life-changing for you. What has been the most challenging part of van life?
So far, and I think we're kind of in agreement on this part, the biggest challenge has been the constant moving, every day driving a couple hours and then finding somewhere to sleep every night. We left Wisconsin the last day of January, and we actually had to be to San Diego by March 14th. So we had a pretty tight deadline to get across the country, which is why our first, month and a half on the road, it was just like drive, 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 drive. So our biggest challenge has just been, just kind of planning every single day, like, hey, we're going to drive 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, just to slowly get across the country. And with that, having to find a place to sleep every night. So now that we don't have that deadline anymore, we're excited to kind of fully experience van life and just, live somewhere and camp somewhere for, a week plus.
Mhm.
Just go wherever and
Go with
take it
the
Exactly.
flow.
slow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, on the flip side, what has been the most rewarding part of it? And what has been the highlight of your life on the road?
So definitely the most rewarding part has been just being able to see things that we never thought we'd see. Um, One thing I learned pretty quickly is that there are mountains everywhere
Mhm.
on the southwestern side of the country. I didn't realize there were mountains everywhere. It's for the last month, all we've been seeing are mountains on both sides of us. So being able to just see, you know, the different side of the country and seeing new places and exploring and traveling, that has definitely outweighed all of the challenges of driving and finding somewhere to sleep, because that's exactly what we wanted to do, was see everything, travel, and be on a ton of adventures.
Yeah, and I think the highlight probably so far on our journey would be one weekend because we had been doing so much driving to get out west. We decided to do three national parks in one weekend because they were all relatively close to each other. So that was a really, really fun weekend. We made a YouTube video about it. And it was so much fun to be able to, just like get out and explore and do all the things that we really wanted to do because it was kind of our first time doing that since we hit the road. So that was absolutely incredible.
And I've been following you guys, so I feel like I'm there with you when you see all those beautiful places.
That's always good to hear.
So, like you mentioned, you have not completely abandoned your careers. You guys work remotely, and you found other source of income by being a digital creator. How has that all been going for you?
It's been going well. So right when we hit the road, we had both started our part-time remote positions. So I work for a small bookkeeping firm, and Brandon works for is a recruiter for a behavioral health company. And we both work part-time, as I mentioned, remotely. So it's been a challenge to start a new job while also starting a new lifestyle. Because it's taking on a lot at one time, changes, but I think that we've been settling into it a lot more. We just always have to make sure that we have service when we're working. So that's been kind of a challenge, but for the most part, we just stay in cities during the week. And then if we want to go out into the middle of nowhere with no service, we do that on the weekends. And our jobs have been really flexible. So there have been times where we're able to not work one day, work more the next day, so we can go and explore wherever we are and that sort of thing. So it's been really nice to have a paycheck while on the road as well. So we're not just eating at our savings.
Mhm.
That's great. That's great. Um, so in less than a year that you've created your Instagram account, last time I looked, you guys have more than 26,000 followers, and that is amazing. How do you feel about that? And did you ever think that you'd have this huge of a following in such a short period of time?
No. So we had no idea that this was going to happen. We started our Instagram account just to kind of document our journey and our build. And it was fun to share all those pictures and that sort of thing with our friends and family. So we just started, that's how we started our Instagram. And, it kind of just grew from there. We got lucky on one video. It went kind of viral, and that's kind of the source of where a lot of people found us, and where they started following us from. So that was a big shock when that video started showing up on everybody's feeds, and we started getting a lot of notifications and stuff like that. So it's just been a lot of fun, and it's fun to create content and share this lifestyle with people because there's so many questions that people have for us, like how do you do this, how do you do that? Well, and they also want to see where we've been. So it's been a lot of fun to create that content and share it with people. And it's just a bonus that so many people are following along.
That's awesome. So, can you share your social media accounts to those who want to follow your journey?
Yeah, of course. So on Instagram, our handle is the.wandering.wings. And on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, it's just the Wandering Wings, no dots in between. So feel free to follow along if you're interested. We always love sharing with you guys. And of course, if you have any questions about van life or anything like that, our DMs are always open.
Yeah, we love questions. We love
Mhm.
answering questions. We like to make fun TikToks answering those questions. Because we want to help. We want to help people, give them the real answer.
Hmm.
Sure, sure. So, how long do you plan on doing this? What is your ultimate goal? Do you just plan to travel all over the US and then maybe settle down someday? What is it?
So the ultimate goal is to do this as long as we can. Kind of basically until we're satisfied. We don't really have necessarily like a set timeline in mind. We're just kind of going with the flow for now. We'll see, maybe we'll have to make more of a timeline, but for now we're just kind of going with it. And then plans are to settle back down in Wisconsin, but like I said, we'll see where the world takes us.
Hmm.
For anyone out there contemplating living full-time in a van, just like you guys are, would you encourage them? And what advice would you give them before going through with it?
I think we would both definitely encourage people to try this lifestyle. My only advice to people is it's definitely not for everyone. It doesn't, for all the amazing things out there that you witnessed and experience, there are some challenges along the road as well. But for those who want to really truly jump into van life, I definitely would say take that leap of faith, and just go for it, because it's definitely worth it.
So, and then my last piece of advice would be don't let fear get in the way. If you're really wanting to do this lifestyle, things will find a way to work itself out. And you have to have a little bit of trust in yourself to be able to make those things work. So if you have that and you're a little bit fearful, I would say just try it. Just go for it, because, things will happen the way that they're supposed to. And you can always go back to kind of your old life, if it doesn't end up working out for you. But at least you can say you tried it and you don't have any regrets moving forward.
Yeah, that's a very good piece of advice. So thank you so much, Kristine and Brandon, for being here today.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
definitely.
Good luck on your travels, or safe travels, and good luck on your journey. And I can't wait to see where you guys are going to go next.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Margie. We had such a fun time talking to you.
Yes, thank you. And this is Margie Bruce here at Global Inspiration, where you need to be seen, you need to be heard, and be an inspiration to the world.